Guard retention tips. Your guard sucks, what do? Right? It's probably not a cool technique like you were wanting it to be. It's a really sort of conceptual approach to me, right? I want to make my guard difficult to deal with, right? Just throwing techniques at people doesn't make it difficult to deal with. What makes it difficult is when I hang weight on you, all right? So let's look at some different observations where we hang weight. Okay, so starting with just a body wiring drill, right? So if he's on the mat, he's really light in my hands, right? I can just pull him around. However, if he connects through his heels, raising his hips, yeah, think about pulling your heels to the mat. Yeah, see, now you're making my feet heavy, right? So if I'm trying to leg drag you, this just became a whole lot more difficult. Keep this. I'm gonna move you over here. You're very heavy. Put that foot right there, right? Could be there or put it here, right? Now, connect weight through this foot. Pull that out. Yeah, see how you're maintaining distance? If I'm doing here, come across, switch your hips. Yes, right? So you're already increasingly difficult to deal with, okay? A place where I also do this, stand up please, is, yeah, exactly. See how I'm just like, I'm coming in here. People be grabbing my pants, right? Grab here. So see how like the edges of my feet are steering you, almost like people would do with a modern spider guard, right? But like when I move my hips, I can draw you forward if I keep that connection through the outside of my feet. This one can really suck, right? Here. Does that feel good? What about now?
Even worse.
Is it getting worse?
Worse.
It's about to get better. Boom, all right. Go ahead. Yeah, okay. Let me rack you up on my thighs first. Boom. All right? Now say open your guard. Don't let me rack you up. Think about like connect as you push down with the thighs, that's gonna slide you back. Raise there. Right? So look, he's in like a crab crawl position. But if I'm pulling him, so this comes into sweeps, comes into those techniques that you were wanting to know about. He's pushing in. You don't want to get your hands too far behind you, or you don't have that same effect. Turn this way, please. So, yeah. And then swing your hips forward. Okay? Have a seat. Let's say we're playing like a butterfly sort of a game. Lean forward, rounding your spine. Like right here, your hands are off the mat. Let's say you don't want to get pushed over. Lean into my hands. Just like we do from standing base. Right? Now, another idea is a lot of times people will be seated here, and we're not playing butterfly. Switch your hips. Right? Like technical stand up. Boom. Right? Have a seat. Okay, so here, if you're standing, and I'll stand up at this, you can just get tipped over, right? Like that, okay? Round your spine, right? And then if you have both hands on the mat, right? That stops you from going over right there though, even though it was a little rough. It just saves us, okay? But these are things that get us our guard past. Let's say I can't deal with that, so I start coming in here. You've got to switch your hips to that one hand on the mat. Yes, okay. So anytime I'm trying to, get past the legs, I get past these knees, you need to be in a seated base in this capacity. So a lot of times it's open guards, we have a hard time passing, right? So have good habits. If he's just seated there with no hand on the mat, and he doesn't, round his spine or do anything, right? Now, be heavy with this foot when I pick it. Oh, yeah. See? I want to make your job incredibly hard. So those are some guard retention tips. We'll show one more. Back on that double under idea. Okay, go ahead and get me in the double under. Right, so as I add that, I'm going to reach through the thigh like a wrestler's switch. I can take the back. Okay, and my hips are this way. I switch them. We got that back control. Okay, so guard retention tips. Had a question about that. Here's another thing. You need to start rounds at every one of these positions. You want to get better at retaining your guard? How are you going to do that? Well, have good habits. If you just start randomly or start every round from standing, which is a good idea for periods of time. But if you're struggling with guard retention, you need to start every round in guard. Like that's exactly how I would do it, right? So that's some tips. Work on them. We'll see y'all next time.